The Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination combats racial discrimination in all its forms and manifestations. And we have 174 members of the international community, member states, who have ratified our treaty. We were established originally at the time when apartheid, that odious system, held sway in southern Africa. So that was the immediate reason for the establishment of this committee. And it is a matter of great pride for us that the Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination has contributed to the successful struggle and victory against apartheid. And racial discrimination is everywhere, all over the world. And racial discrimination even exists in Africa, meaning that discrimination against another tribe, another language. So this kind of discrimination exists everywhere. Now, the new form is that after the Second World War, a lot of people migrated to Europe and a lot of people migrated to the Americas. But in fact, they had migrated to the Americas before, because America was the recipient of the slave trade. Now, what happens? The immigrants who went to Europe, they started encountering racial discrimination in Europe. They were encouraged to come because there was a shortage of labor. And then after a while, they were not being treated properly. So the committee became very active in this field. What we do is that turn by turn, we consider the reports of each state party. And then the representatives of the state party come before the committee and we raise questions about the performance of that country in the field of racial discrimination. We also have a procedure where, as citizens who have exhausted all remedies, domestic remedies, who have faced injustice, racial injustice of any kind, and they've exhausted all the remedies and they have not found satisfaction from the state party, so then they are allowed to send a communication to the committee. This year we are celebrating, and the United Nations is celebrating, the year of the Afro-descendants. And we highlight the problems of the Afro-descendants. You know, the Afro-descendants in many places in Latin America, for example, they are not fully visible. And there's a tendency to ignore their problems. And they face structural discrimination of all kinds. And the Afro-descendants have made a very valuable contribution to the economy. Our children should be taught not to have prejudice. And secondly, we should never tolerate hate speech or hatred in discourse. No jokes, and you see them sometimes in sport, you see them on the internet. So we have to be very careful about all these tendencies. Remember, we are one people.